Hey, what's up guys? John here. I just finished up flight school, clocked in 0.9 hours, did some landing, some takeoffs, getting ready for my first solo flight in probably 3 weeks. Next week I have 2 days scheduled. The following week I have 5 days scheduled. So I'm making progress, making a lot of progress, kind of looking at planes, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that journey with you here. But today's video is going to be just a little bit different because something happened to me and really my wife yesterday that changed the way that we're seeing security and safety for our family. And I want to share this situation because it could happen to you. And I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I want you to be prepared. I want you to be ready and understanding what's going to happen. You know, we see the world right now with stock market booming. You know, real estate prices are crazy right now. And people don't think things are ever going to come down. And everyone's throwing all their money in whatever they can because they think that investing here is going to be way better than investing, leaving your dollar in capital, in cash. So they're leaving their money in something like real estate or stocks, whatever, right? And I think that we're going to see a big problem, especially based off of yesterday. So yesterday, someone followed my wife home. And at least that's what we think. So we live in a pretty upscale community. You know, homes in the adjacent areas like around here, I don't know, 700,000 to 1,000,001, right? Decent community. A lot of tourism, really great restaurants about a mile away. But from here until there is nothing. Just residential homes. Residential homes. So I'm filming my YouTube video yesterday and sent my wife to the mall. I'm like, go entertain Jonathan, you know, 17 months old, kids bouncing off the walls as all 17-month-old babies do. Bouncing off the walls. I'm like, go take Jonathan. Go get some food, entertain them. You guys can go to like the, little playground or whatever. Have some fun. And then come back in about 2 hours. I'll finish my video and then we can eat together. Bring some food home. We can eat together. And I'm going to post a video and we can go out or whatever. She's like, okay, cool. So she goes out. Then she comes home with the food. 10 minutes after coming home, someone knocks on the door. I think this guy followed her home. Someone knocks on the door and he's like 22, 23 years old. And asked my wife if he can have the mangoes on the front yard. My wife's like, sure. Then he's like, do you have any money? Like, who would knock on somebody's door and ask them for money? My wife's like, no. And then he peeks over her shoulder, then peeks under her arm, looks around the house, and then doesn't say anything and leaves. And my wife looks out the window as he's walking away. The guy looks in the backyard to kind of get an idea of how the yard is laid out, the property is laid out. Really weird. My wife yells to me in the bed like, hey John, and I came out and she's like, tell me what's happening. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? I went, followed the guy outside and he's sitting in the car at this point and he's looking down. He won't address me, looking down, so I can't really get a good idea what his face looks like. And the lady driving the vehicle has just nothing except gold teeth. Gold teeth. Seems really shady. And then she's like, oh, we just wanted mangoes. They didn't take any mangoes. So what the hell were they doing there? That's the $1 million question. I think that they probably saw my son at the mall. And I'm just assuming. Saw my son at the mall and then followed her home. And then they wanted to see if she lived alone. That's what I'm betting. That's what I think happened. Because why else would they be driving in a vehicle in a residential neighborhood, stopping only here and then driving away? When they drove away, they didn't stop at the next house. They just drove fully away. So why would that happen, right? So I'm seeing that and I'm like, okay. I call a gun store. I'm like, we're going to end up getting probably 5 or 6 different ones, have them everywhere and get enough ammo for, 2 generations. And we'll drop like 10 or 15 grand to get everything. Because, this is why. I think that we're going to see times ahead of us that we can't comprehend. We look at how the world's changing right now, just over the last 2 years. Just really look at this. We went from being a fully independent nation, right? Fully independent, minus the 56 million people on welfare, minus Social Security. We had problems, definitely, but fully independent. Now, people are getting paid more money not to work. So they're basically killing the middle class right now. Middle class is basically all of America. They're killing the middle class, telling them not to work, not to pay rent, right? So they're accumulating all of these debts. And as they're doing this, they're going to put the entire nation in a position to where they're not going to be able to come back from this. So then what are they going to do? Now they're going to print trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. When they do that, what's going to happen? Cost of goods and services are going to keep going up, up, up. So then we're going to have a situation where people can't afford their homes. They're going to be kicked out of their homes. They're not going to have a job because Bank of America, McDonald's, Chipotle, Walmart, they're paying insane salaries. Bank of America is like $25 an hour. What small business owner can yield a return off of their employee paying them $25 an hour? None. So what they're going to do is they're going to shut down most small businesses with these increased wages and restrictions, these health restrictions that are going to be coming out. I mean, we see where this is going. And when this happens, what we're going to likely see is huge problems, massive problems. And people are going to be desperate, they're going to be hungry, and they're going to be in a situation where they just don't know what they can do. And when people are in that situation and they need food and they need things, they'll probably do whatever they can do. And I can't imagine a situation where Big Brother are just going to say, hey, we have 150 million people that can't work. Let's just pay them more money, a universal basic income, pay them all this money so they can stay home and have more babies for us to take care of. That is that real question. Is like, would that make sense, right? And this isn't an if. This isn't like a maybe. Like technology, innovations, it's all rolling out right now. Small businesses getting shut down. We're going to start to see a huge transfer of wealth happen right before our eyes. People are going to lose everything. And I see this and I compare it to what happened yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? This is with stimulus. This is with unemployment. This is happening in a ritzy area. What's the world going to be like in 6 months or a year or 2 years, right? It really makes me wonder. It really makes me think. And I love real estate investing. That's how I made my money. But at the same time, buying multifamily real estate right now makes very little sense because the tenants aren't forced to pay rent. They're not forced. In a lot of places, they're actually incentivized not to pay. In California and New York, the worst places for landlords right now. Like the worst places. Yet prices are sky high. So what we're going to likely see is we're going to see the price reflective upon the risk in those markets very soon. And interest rates, when they start coming up, which is likely going to happen, can't keep them at zero forever, the purchasing power of the buyer is going to change. Then what we're going to see is a lot of buyers of real estate are not going to be able to qualify for mortgages because they don't have 2 years stable income. A lot of people that are in forbearance right now won't be able to get a loan modification because they won't be able to show stable income. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to just be in a desperate situation. So when I see what's happening, and why I'm talking about this is because the message here is how do people make smart decisions factoring in the amount of risk that is to come for all of us. I think the most important thing is going to be able to make money from home. Like really being able to make money from home, whether you have like an online business or whatever it is that you're doing, be able to make money from home. And if you can have virtual assistants or have a situation where you can pay less for your employees and drive more cash into your pocket for that reserve. Because when we have that problem coming soon, what you're going to want is likely a lot of purchasing power. So you can go out and buy properties or do whatever you need to do to, survive. So you're going to need that cash. So really assuming that this is going to be the most important thing is, I think, going to be paramount to people progressing going forward. A couple things, like I see Malaysia shutting down right now. From the 1st to the 14th, they're saying. And I think, and you saw the emails from, the America's Doc, that's some shady stuff. Like we're seeing everything that's happening. And I think having a YouTube channel is like going to be important. Like being able to make money at YouTube is awesome. Like my other channel, I'm not like, I'm just being transparent with you guys. Like make probably 20 grand a month or whatever on that channel. This channel, the purpose of this channel, yeah, cool. It'd be awesome to make money on it. But the real benefit here is to connect with people that are smarter than myself. So like talking about things like flying planes and possibly buying farmland and meeting up with other entrepreneurs. Like these people, the one thing about pilots that I love is that pilots generally are very detail oriented. They're calculated, they're smart, they're business owners, and they're connected with other people that are like them. So if you have an airplane and you're connected with a bunch of people like that, you're going to be pretty good. Like if you have 10 friends that are all like that, those people are likely going to be good people to have around. Same thing with farmland, understanding how to really operate a farm. That is also going to be invaluable to learn. And then also connecting with other entrepreneurs and being able to travel to them and link up with those people, like all that is going to be much more valuable than monetizing this YouTube channel. But it's the cool thing with YouTube though, is like you can set up a foundation to where you can go out and do something like that. So yeah, yesterday really changed the way that I see the world, and now I'm getting like on the next level. Like we've all watched like stuff on Instagram and TikTok especially, and getting like different opinions outside of the mainstream. And when you start to take in some of those views, you're like, you know what, like that actually probably makes a lot of what they're saying makes more sense than what we're being told on television. So scary stuff. Be prepared. Make smart moves today to take care of tomorrow. What do you guys think about what happened with that guy coming to the house? Like, isn't that really fishy? What would you guys have done? And my wife, she wanted to leave immediately, get out of this lease that we're in, and go buy a house in a gated community. When I'm like, no, the prices are absolutely insane right now. She showed me a few listings, and like 3-4 years ago, they were selling for 50% less. I'm like, no, if you want to lease something like in a gated community, I can lease something for you. But like, I'm not going to go out and invest in like one of these properties that I know that we're probably just likely going to get killed on in the coming year or two. But yeah, I mean, scary times ahead. But one thing that would be really cool though with the farmland, and this is like one of the other reasons that I really liked it, is that if it's out in the middle of nowhere and it's on a huge spread and you have running water, you have like organic food, so you're eating like really great healthy food. And I was reading something, because obviously I have a 17-month-old son, that a lot of the baby formulas and like the baby juices, they put shaved metal in there. It's crazy. Like the Gerber, like a lot of that like top of the line food that people think is really not that good for you. So eating like purely organic food, healthy food, and being able to be self-sufficient with a big property, with a landing strip that I'm able to, take off and do whatever I want, like that interests me so much. So I'm going to be sharing a lot more about that on my journey. And I'm going to really, the last deal didn't work out just because I don't want 360 acres that are under the thumb of Big Brother. But I am going to be looking for a big patch of land that I can do something like that. I'm not going to be a farmer. That's obvious. I'm not, that's not my skill set. I'm going to bring in somebody that's going to help me with that. But I will be buying farmland most likely. And then I'm going to, as things start changing, prices start coming down for multifamily real estate, as that all starts coming together, then I'm going to start investing heavily into multifamily real estate. But one step at a time. Drop your comments below. Really curious as to what you guys think about all this. And please smash the like button. When you hit the like button, you're essentially telling YouTube to share the content, and you're going to help wake up and educate more people as to what's really going on. I mean, this is like the real world stuff that's going on that people don't talk about. So please hit that like button. Consider subscribing for more content on personal finance, real estate, business, survival, YouTube, making money online, all that good stuff. See you guys in the next video.